Let's do the setup on some other key earnings this week. After the bells, Visa. Jimmy, you own that. You trimmed it recently. What do you think?
I think it's going to do fine, but I did trim it recently, which simply is my way of saying relative to the growth that I perceive ahead, I think it's a little bit ahead of itself. I still own a position, so I think it's going to do fine, but I was happy trimming it.
Okay. Kev, you own that too?
I agree with Jimmy. We have a $300 covered call that expires on Friday. We like the stock here. We just think it's fairly valued. With the consumer sentiment strong and the holiday spending should be okay next quarter, but we're looking back. So
I got a headline I want to bring to you guys. Can we throw up an intraday of Broadcom? Actually, we can, maybe you want to show a couple of stocks here, Broadcom and Taiwan Semi. There's a Reuters exclusive report here that says OpenAI builds its first chip with Broadcom and Taiwan Semi, scales back its foundry ambition. So Broadcom's getting a lift on that news, pretty clear. Taiwan Semi's up 1%, but Broadcom seems to be the winner at the moment, at least in the market. Kev, I bring it up in part to get the news out, but also you own Broadcom.
We do own it in the growth portfolio. We sold it out of the dividend strategy. Would have been nice today to have it in both. But this AI play, you can see what OpenAI is spending. That's why they're losing so much money. But getting involved with making their own chips, to Jimmy's point earlier, eventually someday maybe someone will compete with NVIDIA. Yeah,
it's not a zero-sum game here where NVIDIA takes everything. But they do have what analysts would suggest, a pretty good moat.
Yeah, you just get a little bit of it, right?
Yeah, it's all you need. So, all right, we'll watch that. It's a big developing story there, and shares of Broadcom are clearly getting a lift. We'll keep an eye there to 3 2/3%. Let's do a couple others real quick. GSK is tomorrow before the bell, and XPO. You want to just take both?
Sure. So these are interesting. These are, very wide margins of safety. You've got GSK, GlaxoSmithKline. It's in our international strategy, and what we're looking for is more information on the vaccine business, and also information on their Zantac litigation. All the same. The stock's trading at 8.5 times earnings with a 4.5% dividend yield, and these are their earnings growth rates expected for the next 3 years: 6%, 11%, 14%. So even if they disappoint, there's just a huge margin of safety there. XPO is interesting. This is freight shipping. And the investment story here is that the stock trades at 12.5 times EBITDA versus Old Dominion, which trades at 21 times. So it is up 40% on the year. We don't expect it to be a very good quarter. We expect revenues to be down about 3% in the third quarter. So blah, blah. But earnings growth for the next 3 years, 20%, 20%, 25%.
All right.